Welcome back to Briggs on Books. Are you about to pick the next book you're going to read? I'm always looking for my next book. On Briggs on Books, we talk to authors. And by the way, here's the book we're going to talk about today, Gun Barrel Highway. And don't go anywhere because the author is going to be on the show too and tell us about his process of not just writing a book, but he was self-published and he went more mainstream publishing. He does audio projects, a fascinating, fascinating guy. So if you want to learn how to get it done, welcome Sean Bridges. Sean, you got it done many times. You've written several books. Is that right?
I have, yeah. This would be my fourth book I've written. First one professionally published.
Yeah, so many of our viewers are writing their first book, trying to get across the finish line. And once they finish writing, they don't know what to do. Self-publish, go with a publisher. But you've been down the path a few times. And any advice for those people just about to get published?
Well, I started out as a screenwriter, so that was kind of the world I fell into as a writer, and won some awards there and got representation in Los Angeles, and that was a whole different path. And ended up trying to see if I could write a novel. It was self-taught. I just thought, let me trial and error. And wrote it, got a number of rejections from agents and publishing houses, and then tried to I ended up, self-publishing, which is all of the work is on your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's like pushing a wooden cart through Los Angeles or Manhattan to try to get interest in your work. It's just an arduous path, but it was still something to actually go the distance and get a book published that I could hold in my hands.
Yeah.
The world of professional publishing, which this novel got picked up, is a completely different, just a whole different avenue. I would say just keep at it. I mean, that was the one thing that this book I was determined to get published professionally. So when I finished this one, I thought I would go the distance with it.
Tell us about Gun Barrel Highway.
Yeah, it's a Texas-based book. It's a suspense thriller. I tend to write stories that are everyday man in extraordinary situation type of stories. I also like to pick places that are very unique in the world. Texas is a very unique place in the world, really. It's about a lawyer who gets involved in an accident, and the person in the other car dies. It's the wife of a politician, and the politician puts a bounty out on his head, and he's on the run trying to survive while all these people are out to get him in the Lone Star State. So it's a beach read, page turner type of book. It officially comes out. It'll be an ebook, a paperback, and an audiobook on November 20th. So I'm anxious for that date to hit.
Oh, so it's coming out.
Yes, it's set to be published.
Now, is it set in San Antonio or just in Texas in general?
It starts in San Antonio and through the hill country down to the Mexican border. Yeah. So it's that kind of part of Texas. And
people familiar with Texas are they going to see things and places in the book that they know or will recognize?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope it's something that I love this state. I've been here. I'm from a military family, so I was born in Germany, went to college in Germany, and moved all my life, and settled in Texas, in Austin, Texas, for work. I used to work for IBM. And just fell in love with the state and have lived in Central Texas for a while now. So this is my nod to Texas, and I'm a big Elmore Leonard fan. So it was really my nod to an Elmore Leonard style of a storytelling.
Nice. Elmore Leonard. Now, tell us about, we have your web address on the screen, audioparade.com. What is that, Sean?
Audible Parade was an idea I came up with. I went to the Austin Film Festival and basically stumbled upon a seminar about something called, audio drama, or audio theater, I think it was entitled, and I completely fell for the concept. And it's really a throwback to the way they used to tell stories. Yeah. It's using modern techniques, but old-time radio type style stories. And I thought, living in Central Texas, you realize there's a lot of actors here, recording studios, music capital of the world was Austin. So I thought this was something I could do. And one thing about the creative life is you always try different avenues. And I've done relatively well as a screenwriter and then writing books. And I thought this would be another way to bring stories to life. Connected with professional actors, theater actors, friends. I think the first production we did had about 70 voice actors in it. It's 5 episodes, 30-minute episode length. It's available on Audible, but also all type of podcast portals. Yeah. But it's an interesting way. Basically, you record the cast together like a theater performance in a recording studio, and you add in music and sound effects and background noise, and it's like a movie for your mind. Yeah. So that led to me getting chosen to be a Stephen King Dollar Baby. which was like winning a golden ticket, honestly. I was a huge, Stephen King taught me to learn to love to read when I was in high school. So to get the chance to take one of his stories and do whatever I want with it was phenomenal.
That's great.
And I took his story, One for the Road, which was in Night Shift, which is like a spin-off of Salem's Lot, which was a book, classic Stephen King novel. And brought in a professional cast to do it, and we produced that. It's about a 40-minute audio drama, and that went around the festival circuit, won a number of awards, and it's one of the things I'm most proudest of, was getting a chance to be a Dollar Baby and producing that project.
Now, when I went to audioparade.com, I saw a bunch of recordings on there. What will people find on there?
Trailers for existing projects, links to the Dollar Baby if you want to hear it, 5 episodes of 666, which was the first production we did. We're doing one now called Parasite Zero. That's an entire book. I think it's a 20-chapter book. We'll release chapter 1 through 10, like a part 1, next year. That has about 50 voice actors on it, and we're just about to wrap production on that. And then I'm in post-production now, so I'm working with my editor to put that together, and it's just it's a different way to bring material to life, but it's just another way to get material out to an audience. So I really enjoy doing that.
It's kind of a little bit different medium than we're used to. I used to listen to stories on the radio.
It's writing. It's like writing for the blind, if that makes sense, in a weird way. It's an interesting way of telling a story that has to come across audibly. You have to be able to tell. Some people had asked me if I would use a narrator, and I thought, no, in these cases I wanted the actors and the sound effects to be able to convey the story, so you knew what was going on. And then, subsequently, I'm doing an audio book for Gun Barrel Highway, and that will be a traditional audio book with a professional actress named Patricia Zamora, and she's worked on a number of my projects, and she'll bring that one to life as the audio book, and that'll come out in November. So there's a lot juggling right now. I'll admit this year's been pretty exciting for me.
I'm coming back to the book. Here is the book, Gun Barrel Highway, and this is coming out when now? November?
November the 20th, I think, is the official release date. I'll have a pre-release link about 10 weeks beforehand. It's out. Right now, art copies are out to early reviewers. They're looking at it. It's out at a couple competitions. I'm really excited. It was going through the editing process on this was probably the biggest reveal of just a different animal of writing, was working with professional editors. This one, I worked with 2 editors and a proofreader, and to have them just go through the material, and it only makes the work better. So I think for audience or members or people who are trying to get books off the ground, honestly, when you finish a manuscript, I thought my manuscript was as polished as I could get it. Having an editor look at it was such an eye-opener, and then working with their notes just makes the material so much better. So I would advise writers who are trying to get their material in the best shape. I'm going to take material that I've self-published and go through this process because it was such an enjoyable way to work.
That's amazing what publishers...
And it only makes the work better.
What publishers will put you through before they'll publish your book. So that's amazing. That's a whole nother interview and story. Sean, we've run out of time, but any last thoughts on your book or anything in the world you want to talk about?
I live in Central Texas. I love it here. I'm working as a bartender at Andalusia Whiskey, which is a fun place to be. If you want to come down and grab a drink, I'm excited about the future. I hope people hope people respond to this book and really like. It's something that they get excited about. It's a page turner, and they want to read more or hear more. The audio productions will come out next year. So. And you're in the San Antonio area? Yeah, right outside of San Antonio. I'm in the Hill Country. That's kind of where I'm at. Today is, July 24th. What's the weather there, Sean? Today is actually rainy. Usually this part of Texas is just hot till October, so to get any rain is kind of a big deal for us. Everything's still green, which is surprising. Everything's usually brown now. I learned when I came out here not to carve a pumpkin around Halloween because it rots, so it's just, things tend to be hot until about after Halloween. That long, wow. Fascinating guest. Here is his book, Gun Barrel Highway.